as a worship leader or someone that may be in charge over production, worship, creative, whatever, and I get a text message from a pastor, hey, we misspelled Galatians. Well, I'm like, well, that could have been prevented. Only if my ProPresenter op had a checklist that said, please make sure all the lyrics are spelled correctly and all the pastor's slides are spelled correctly.
And they're like, I'm not going to put prayer on a checklist. It's like, well, you keep forgetting to do it. Why are we not praying before rehearsal? We're going to get nerdy here. Maybe, maybe not. Let's talk about pre-service checklists. Where are you going? You're leaving already? Oh, we got his shorts on camera. Dude, we got to go tan. We got to go.
I know. I got my short gym shorts on.
Okay.
I'm doing you a favor by putting my phone away.
I actually really appreciated that. I don't think churches are documenting really much of like weekend process. How much are you seeing of that?
Re-ask that question. You don't think churches are documenting?
We're not really documenting our processes, like checklists,
right. Yeah. No, not a chance.
It's not happening.
There's some.
Yeah.
There's some.
Those that are like the more process-oriented
Yeah.
But more often than I find, it's just like the process is in our heads as leaders. We tell people, we either do it before people show up into the room, whether the process is to turn on PJs or, get front of house show file loaded, patch sheet, whatever. Like every church is going to have their own processes, but it seems like we just kind of have those key volunteers that know, and then those that don't, we just kind of fill in the gaps when needed. And so I'd love to talk about, this would be more of a tactical discussion for those of you listening. Might get a little geeky, but like, yeah, how should we be thinking about these like pre-service checklists, the tasks that need to get done before the weekend happens? Probably aren't going to get into like every single role like to that level, because frankly, you and I aren't lighting guys. We shouldn't be telling lighting people what to do before service.
Right.
But more like how to administer and plan out these systems.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yes. The win though would be that people would understand why they are needed versus then just doing it.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, well, why? Why would a lighting engineer, designer, lighting op, volunteer, part-time, staff, doesn't matter, intern, why do I need a checklist?
Yeah.
What does it matter? Why does a stage manager, why does a worship leader, why does a audio engineer, why do we need the checklist? If you can't get them to understand the why, never in a chance would someone add an extra task to their plate, right? I'm thankful that sometimes I hear my pilots on my plane come across and go, hey, we're just tied up a little bit on some paperwork and going through our checklist before we take off. Because they understand the why. Because it's like, as a pilot sits down and they look through all of their checklists to make sure that plane they've flown 4 times that day, they got to restart every time, right? So,
and that can feel mundane to some. They're like, "Oh, I'm better than a checklist."
Well, yeah,
it sounds like monkey work.
Of course. Of course. It's this podcast. We know that Hayden's got to turn on cameras, make sure everything's set up, the lighting looks well. It's mundane. Like it's routine. It's what we do in our roles and our jobs and when we volunteer. So it's and I do it every Sunday. But having one is only a major help and resource to making sure that nothing is missed.
Yeah.
And what is wrong with that?
Yeah. Well, and how often in this community are we talking about linchpins? I can't take a vacation. My volunteers just don't. I can't rely on them. We can go down the line. That is, I don't want to sound dramatic, but that does tend to be a headline in our community.
Yeah.
Right? And so how do we combat that vicious cycle? Through processes and like, dare I say, some documentation.
Yeah.
And clarity for our volunteers. But yeah, I think you're right. They have to understand the why. Well, we as leaders need to understand the why. I think that's actually the bigger issue here is like we as leaders need to understand why this is so important. Then also volunteers need to understand, like, Because sometimes maybe people are like, yeah, I do have systems, but my volunteers are resistant to those systems.
It might be some work up front, but it only makes your role and responsibilities as a leader or a key op.
Yeah.
And I hate to use the word easy, but easier.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm sitting down and as a worship leader or someone that maybe be in leading a team or in charge over production, worship, creative, whatever, and I get a text message from a pastor or a pastor's assistant and says, hey, we misspelled Galatians.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm like, well, that could have been prevented. Only if my ProPresenter op had a checklist that said, please, before we go into service, before doors, make sure all the lyrics are spelled correctly and all the pastor's slides are spelled correctly on a checklist that he's or she's going to check.
Yeah.
So I know immediately, well, how in the world did we misspell Galatians?
Mm-hmm.
We have a checklist. I'm going to go back to that checklist that volunteer would have checked
Can you
off.
spell Galatians really quick, by the way?
Galatians.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure.
And
We were talking about reading our Bibles before this. I want to make sure you actually.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't talking about me reading my Bible. So I'm going to go back to that checklist and go, oh, well, they actually didn't check that box.
Yeah.
So I know for a fact no one checked to make sure Job. Can you spell Job?
Job.
Was spelled correctly, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds so mundane, but I just talked to a pastor this morning. He was like, dude, we just had a train wreck of a weekend. And it wasn't like the power went out or the ceiling fell through. You know, like that when we think of like train wrecks, we're like, oh, something really bad happened. No, it's just little stuff like you just described. Like slides, spelling errors, like so-and-so didn't show up. Yeah. And this thing happened. Like all these very avoidable mistakes. Yeah. He's like, and that's what was most frustrating.
Yeah. And on practical, again, like on a checklist, like a lighting. So what checklist would you guys put on for a lighting guy? Because we're not lighting guys, so we can't speak in lighting guys. I would say, have you connected with whoever chooses the worship backgrounds to make sure that your lights and worship colors are matching before doors? Yeah. Like, how hard is it? Because as a designer, I can sit down and go, boom, 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 punch out all this, punch this out, punch that out, and it looks great from a lighting standpoint. But then, Resolume or ProPresenter, D3, whatever you got, they're throwing up an orange background and you're shooting for a purple or whatever. Orange purple is actually not a bad look together, but you know what I mean? Like, just we're not lined up. That's an easy checklist thing, right? Do all your front wash fixtures work? Are you dialed in? Are your gobos focused? This, that, this. What? Yeah, doesn't hurt.
Let's not forget that checklists can help you build and maintain culture as well. So for a front of house audio guy, on that checklist for me would be like, make sure you've greeted everybody on stage. Like go up, walk in front of them, like say, hey, meet new people. Like, so these could even be people oriented tasks that need to happen. Because sometimes we're just thinking, oh yeah, I got to patch sheet, label channels on my show file, whatever it may be in your environment. But we forget even about the people stuff. Sometimes on our checklist for producers, it's like coordination with ushers, right? About doors or whatever. It's coordination with, pastor for backstage manager, maybe. Like there's all of these communication points that need to happen on the weekend too. Oh, I forgot to have that conversation with so-and-so. Yeah. These things are easy to document. They happen every single weekend. And so let's talk about like leaders for a second, because leader listening to this, you can already imagine all the various things that need to get done for the serve positions that you have on the weekend. But like, what about for our leaders? What's on their checklist for the weekend? Something that I've become really passionate about lately, because I was assuming this was obvious, but I'm seeing it more and more as I'm helping churches. Like, why are we not praying before rehearsal? And they're like, I'm not going to put prayer on a checklist. It's like, well, you keep forgetting to do it. Yeah. Why are we not doing it? Like, and maybe it's not like an issue of faithfulness, but it is this forgetfulness that you're like, oh, I just got caught up in the thing. And so I forgot to lead our team through a time of prayer before we rehearse together. Is that crazy to say?
Yeah. It really is. Yeah.
You're like, how dare we put prayer on a checklist?
I
No,
don't-
but I'm just thinking for the leader, like we're forgetting some of the things that we are responsible for on a weekend.
If you, as a leader in the church space, are forgetting prayer, what are you not forgetting?
Or what are you forgetting? Is that what you mean?
No. What are your priorities? Is my question.
Yeah.
If you're forgetting prayer, out of all the years,
Don't get soapboxy though. It's happening and people are doing it.
I
so
know
don't
it's
get down.
happening, but what I'm saying is,
You've done it before. I guarantee you've done it once.
sure, absolutely.
As have I.
But what I'm saying is, don't forget that.
Yeah.
That's the one that you don't forget.
Yeah.
You don't forget that because you're not looking at a checklist. You don't forget that because you are ceasing without prayer. Like you are, or praying without ceasing. You are a leader that has been called by God, who has the spiritual awareness to lead that team.
Yeah.
The only thing we have is prayer. Don't forget prayer. I'm not
Yeah.
going to start preaching, but
Well, I think it's
put on checklist. I don't care.
yeah, sure. I'm saying we got to hold ourselves as leaders accountable. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
You may think, that's natural for me. I do that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I do that every week. Okay, what if you're gone and you need to equip another person on your team to lead that weekend?
Right.
Hey, man, here's my checklist. Here's
Yeah.
the thing that I make sure, hell or high water, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
every
We make sure
single
we
weekend.
pray. We make sure we
We
meet.
make sure we do this. We make
We
sure
go
we do
through
that.
planning center.
And like, this isn't a matter of checking a box. This is a matter of accountability because this is so important to me.
Yeah. And that leader checklist should change. Why? Because it should change on which direction the church is headed. So maybe my leader is saying, hey, we need to up our volunteerism. We need to up volunteer recruitment.
Yeah.
So on my checklist for the next 8 weeks is going to be 3 new touches, 3
Yeah.
new contacts, right? And so that checklist for the leader should be changing based off where their leader is taking, the mission or the strategy of the church in the moment. A lot less maybe technical, like an LD or an audio engineer.
Yeah.
But absolutely. Something else on the leadership checklist should be making sure all positions have checklists. I mean, like,
Yeah.
does everybody have the resources they need? Do they have their checklist? Do they, maybe at the bottom of their checklist, it says, go around to all the stations and work areas and making sure you see, if you want to take checklists to the extreme, making sure you see initials and signatures by those daily line items.
Yeah.
I've been a part of a church that did that.
Yeah.
It's pretty effective.
At Bayside, at all of our multi-sites for audio, something that was like one of the most important things on a checklist was gain structure. And it was so important that it was actually on the worship leaders checklist to make sure that it got done.
Yeah.
And, or, at some campuses, like the producer, the person who's really ultimately responsible for rehearsal and all that going well. And it was the first question before anybody did anything. Hey, can we go ahead and get gains really quick?
Yeah.
Like, because if we don't do that, this whole rehearsal is going to be in shambles. Like, we're going to be making error requests the whole time.
Yeah. It slows everything down.
Right?
Yep.
So it's like finding important things like that in our culture and DNA and how we execute. If gain and structure is not important to your church, you're probably doing it wrong. I'll give you that pro tip. But like, there's going to be certain things that are unique to your organization that are just incredibly important. And having those things documented so that you can take a vacation, so that your volunteers can take a vacation, so that when that one volunteer who's going through a really hard time in life has to take a couple months off, you can be excited to pastor them through that instead of being so pissed that you lost your linchpin.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. We're going to do okay without you. You got this documentation. Also, equip your people to help you with these processes. So some people are similar to you and I, Dylan, where they're like, yeah, I know lighting, but like, could I create a checklist for lighting that's like really what it needs to be? Probably not.
Right.
And so what happens is it just doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we bring in some of our key volunteers into this process as well?
Yeah.
Go, hey, help me do that.
That's a good move for leadership anyways, because it brings in ownership, buy-in.
Yeah.
Then they'll help you lead other people accountable for checklists because they put time and effort towards it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about the mechanics here. Like, I've seen a lot of printed out sheets. around the sanctuary? I mean, how have you done this in the past? I will talk about MxU in a second because we have a gangster way to track checklists that I want to talk about and tell you about. But like, how have you done this in the past?
Yeah, I mean,
The simplest ground level.
the simplest traditional would be a clipboard and paper.
Yeah.
And it's the same sheet printed off, a stack of 100, and you just checklist for each position, right? What that does is that creates more work.
Yeah.
Preparation for that. And then what are we going to do with the paper, right? Like, where's it go? Do we want to print paper? Do we want to physically write? I was doing a church visit a couple of years ago, and they had a QR code at every station.
Mm-hmm.
So they would scan the QR code, and it'd be a digital checklist.
Yep.
And that checklist would just auto dump to their wherever their data collecting. So yeah, you can go traditional route paper, which I have no problem with. You can go all the way digitally to a QR code at a station, which is slick. It looks good. They framed it up at every station. Hey, thanks for serving. Don't forget, scan the QR code to check in or to process through your checklist. And then also, MxU.
Yeah. Well, so I don't think I've even told you about this. So in MxU now, you can track all your tasks and checklists, like people-oriented or system-oriented. We actually built out this, the functionality to, obviously you can have your repeat checklist. So you have your audio checklist, you got your line check, however, maybe you got a dozen checklists. You can house them all in MxU, have them repeat, and then have them automatically assigned to the person who's scheduled in Planning Center for that position. So through the Planning Center integration, maybe you have the audio checklist get assigned at Sunday at 7 a.m. and I'm surveying audio. I get a push notification. Hey, here's your checklist. Click on it. I can go through, click through those items. You as my leader can see exactly the time that I completed those items and be able to ultimately hold the whole team accountable in one place. You're not going around chasing paper. You're not worrying about, it's like automatic, turnkey. We're super pumped about it. This has been like a really strangely hot topic with churches lately. They're just like, how do I manage these weekend processes? And being able to do this in an automated way and be able to I mean, come on, we're in 2026. Printing out paper
I know.
for checklists is a little bit ridiculous.
I know.
So,
But must not neglect the fact that there are still thousands of churches that it would just be easier to print paper.
Well, and what we find is that a lot of people will have the paper there. You can see it, like the tape around the edges, and it's just there, and no one's actually checking it off. Right. It's almost like a reminders list. But again, accountability.
Right.
Because how many times I hear this all the time. Oh yeah, we normally do that. We just didn't do it today.
A reminder list is better than nothing.
Yeah.
But it still is not accomplishing what it exists for.
Let's go back to you talking about airline pilots. Highly paid, skilled professionals.
Yes. With lives on the line.
Yeah, you could say, oh, well, it's just, a bunch of red tape because Delta Airlines micromanaging their pilot, whatever. No, like even I have a friend who's a private pilot, and he's like, no, I take pride in like my job. Mm-hmm. And I also know that I'm human, and I forget that, no, like I need to be able to have accountability here and know exactly when this thing got done.
I don't know why I ran across this yesterday. TikTok, of course. But Chernobyl.
You're on TikTok?
Yeah, is that not a thing? We don't do that anymore or something?
No, I didn't realize. I thought that was a little young for you.
Oh, really? What's the age range? Just
Hayden, what's the age range for TikTok? Yeah.
Like as a 38-year-old dude, I shouldn't be on TikTok?
No, I feel it's a very wide range.
Okay.
I feel it's more prevalent 20 to 30-year-olds, but
yeah.
My grandmother's on TikTok.
Dude, I was laughing so hard last night on TikTok.
Your grandma's on TikTok?
I swear.
No,
well, your grandma is a little hip though. She's a little.
My grandma's dead. It's 38-year-old, and Chernobyl in Ukraine, the falling out, the nuclear fallout, lack of checklist. They did not go through their checklist.
Yeah.
It was human error, and a checklist failure is what led to that disaster. So if you're listening to this, you're heading down a road of straight nuclear fallout.
Contamination in your ministry.
For hundreds of years.
Yeah.
But checklists are important.
Yeah.
It's not just for the Delta pilot or the nuclear scientist. It's
You say nuclear?
Nuclear? How would you say it?
Nuclear?
That's what I said. Nuclear. Nuclear? Is that better? Nuclear? That's how you said it.
Oh man, I just realized you and I both are wearing integration hats.
I know. I thought the same thing.
It's like
Earlier, I was
the
like,
battle of the integration
Yeah.
companies.
I love it.
Yeah, neither of us are integrators, but
We have
like,
friends.
we like the good ones.
Yeah.
The good ones are just, they're worth. I love this mainly because I like this hat, but also
a good looking
like Summit Integrated does good work, and many
Yeah.
integrators, you've heard us say, many integrators don't do good work. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's how you know which integrator to go with. Just if you ever see a hat of the integrator on the MxU podcast, there you go.
I really like this hat.
Yeah, Amplio
I
Systems.
stole it from here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Amplio Systems. Well, that's the thing. See, they send us hats, so we got a bunch of hats.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
They know, like, okay,
Smart.
if we send MxU a hat,
Smart.
so far it's just Church Front, Amplio, and Summit.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll get some more.
Now we will.
Yeah, for sure. Please. Well, hey, thanks for joining us on the MxU podcast. Hopefully this has been a helpful discussion for you. If you want to learn more, even just about like MxU checklists and how that can help your ministry, there's a link in the description below. Would love to meet with you, show you a little bit more in depth of how it could work and serve you and your team. Yeah, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on the MxU podcast.